All right, guys, welcome back after the break. Let's continue with some application sums. So let's see what is in store for us. Question number 1, and this question is based on length and distance, right? So it says, Kobus would like to put an electric fence around his farm. He measures the perimeter, that is the total distance around the shape, to be 5,4 miles. Determine the total cost of the electric fence if they charge 35.99 per meter. Using the conversion, 1 mile equals 1,6093 kilometers. So first of all, looking at this, I'm going to convert my 5,4 miles to kilometers, and thereafter I'm going to go from kilometers into meters. Right, so I'll say 5,4 miles multiplied by the conversion rate of 1,6093. Now let's quickly type that in. 5.4 multiplied by 1.6093. That gives us an answer now of 8,69022, and now your answer is in kilometers. Right, so from here I'm going to go from kilometers to meters. All right, so I will say then, take my calculator, I take the 8.69022 and I will multiply that by 1,000. All right, so I say, therefore, 8,69022 times 1,000, and that will give me an answer of equals 8,690,22, and now that's in meters. Are we clear on that? So I converted to meters. But I want you to note, remember they are selling it for 35.99 per meter, not part of the next meter. So therefore it's important, you have to round this off to the next meter. So that becomes, sorry about that, that now becomes 8,691 meter because they are selling it per meter. So now I see it's 35.99 per meter. Therefore, I go and I say 8,691 meters multiplied by the cost per meter, and that is 35.99 rand per meter. So let's type that in. 8,691 multiplied by 35.99 rand. That gives us an answer of 312,789 rand and 9 cents. So all in all, that is what Kobus will need to pay for this electric fence. All right, let's move on to our next sum. Here we're going to work with mass, and the question itself states, saffron is the most expensive spice in the world and sells for approximately 74.99 American dollar per ounce. Determine the cost of saffron per portion, and this time around it should be in rand, if a recipe that serves 9 people calls for 6 grams of saffron. All right, also important, using the conversion, 1 ounce equals 28.3495 grams, and then 1 American dollar equals to 17 rand and 99 cents. So let's see, where do we start? First of all, I'm going to look at what the recipe is indicating. So I'm saying 6 divided by 9. All right, so 6 divided by 9 to see how much is served per gram. Okay, so therefore that will give us 0.666 repetitive, right? So I'm not going to clear my screen. Okay, so therefore I have this now in grams. So I take this answer and I must convert this now to ounces, right? Because the price is given per ounce. All right, so therefore we take the 0.66 repetitive divided by 28.3495. So let me quickly type that in. So it's going to be 0.66666 divided by 28.3495. Right, that will give us an answer of 0.023515758. And this now is ounces. Right. Therefore, moving forward, and don't clear screen, I'm going to take this ounces and I'm going to multiply it by the rate per ounce. Okay, so therefore, take the same amount, 0.0235157758, and I multiply that by 74.99. So let's see what I get when I multiply that. Multiply by 74.99 American dollars. That will give you equals to 1.7634. Let me just fix this. 3446742. Remember I said we only round off in the final answer. Right. So this is the rate per ounce. Okay. Now we want to know what will that be in South African rand. Okay. So therefore you take this amount, this rate of the price here, and you multiply that by, so I'm converting now from American dollars to South African rand. So therefore I multiply by 17.99. So that will give us an answer of 31 rand and 72 cents. But please note, it will give you 724, but with money we round off to 2 decimal places. So therefore it is 31 rand and 72 cents. All right. Hope that is clear to all of you. Let's move on to our next sum. In this sum, we're going to be working with volume. So I'm saying here, a vanilla sponge cake calls for 3.5 US fluid ounces of vanilla essence. Determine the cost of the vanilla essence in the sponge cake if a liter bottle of vanilla essence costs 45 rand and 95 cents. Using the conversion, 1 fluid ounce equals to 29.5735 milliliters. All right, so let's see, where do we start? I know I have 3.5 fluid ounces, so I'm going to convert the 3.5 fluid ounce by multiplying that with the conversion factor here of 29.5735, because I want to move now from fluid ounce to milliliters. So when I type that in, 3.5 multiplied by 29.5735, that will give me an answer of equals 103.50725, and this is in milliliters. But we must note, a liter bottle costs 45 rand 95 cents. So therefore, I'm going to first see what is the cost per milliliter. Therefore, I take the 45 rand and 95 cents. I divide that by 1,000. Why 1,000? Because 1,000 liter equals 1,000 milliliter for that matter equals 1 liter. So if I type that in, 45.95 divided by 1,000, that will give me equals to 0.04595, and now this is your answer in milliliters. Right, so now I go and I see, okay, here I have 103.5725 milliliters, and then the rate here is 0.04595 per milliliter. So I take this rate, therefore 0.04595 multiply by the 103.5725 milliliters. So if I multiply that by my amount of milliliters, 103.5725 equals to 4.75915. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, but it's other numbers. Remember, this is money, so we round off money to 2 decimal places. So therefore, in this case, it will be 4 rand and 76 cents, because I look at the third digit after the decimal. All right. Okay, so let's move on to our last question here. I'm saying carrots grow best an average temperature of between 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. In my garden, vegetable patch has an average temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. Use the formula below to determine if I should plant carrots. Okay, so let's look. Step 1, formula. Step number 2, I'm going to substitute into the formula. So I'm going to say 1,8 multiply by 20 degrees Celsius, right, plus my 32. So I'm going to use BODMAS. I'm going to simplify in BODMAS first, 1.8 multiply by my 20. That will give me an answer of 36. Then I'm going to add the 32 to it. So 36 plus 32 give me an answer of 68. And this now is degrees Fahrenheit. So the question says it grows best between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, now I have to conclude. So therefore, it won't be best for me to sell carrots. All right, guys, let's take a quick break. After the break, we'll wrap this all up. See you now. Thank you.